Good afternoon. We'd like to call the January 29th meeting of the Yakima School Board to order. Barb, would you take the roll, please?
Director Beckett,
Present.
Director Navarro Jr., Director Rice, Vice President Villanueva,
Here.
and President Walker.
Here. Thank you. Now if you will join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Before I do translation, we'll do the character word of the month too, along with the pledge. Character of the word is inquisitive, given to examination or investigation, or inclined to ask questions. En español, inquisitivo, dar o indagar o investigar o inclinado a hacer preguntas. How would I do, Jorge? Thank you. Okay. And that is why Jorge is here. We offer Spanish interpretation services with language connection. If you need translation assistance in person, please check with Jorge for advice.
Si alguien necesita de la ayuda de un intérprete, tenemos el sistema para hacerlo. Gracias.
We do provide live streaming for this meeting. The link can be found on our webpage under Board of Directors or by going directly to www.ysd7.org/board meetings. If you wish to make a public comment, there are two options available for you. The first option is for commenting on agenda items only. The second option, which comes toward the end of the meeting, is for all other topics. In order to speak tonight, you will need to sign two forms, a sign-in form and a guidelines form, and those are available at the table as you enter the meeting. If you are interested in watching past meetings, you may find them on our webpage's YSD YouTube channel. And now for our Yakima land acknowledgement.
Today, the schools of the Yakima School District rest on the ancestral lands of the 14 confederated tribes and bands of the Yakima Nation.
Hoy las escuelas del Distrito Escolar de Yakima descansan en las tierras ancestrales de las 14 tribus y bandas confederadas de la nación Yakima.
The people of the Yakima Nation inhabited more than 12 million acres.
La gente de la nación Yakima habitó más de 10 billones de acres.
Across Adams, Benton, Chelan, Douglas, Franklin, Grant, Kittitas, Klickitat, and Yakima counties.
En los condados de Adams, Benton, Chelan, Douglas, Grant, Franklin, Kittitas, Klickitat, y Yakima.
Today we honor those native peoples who are tied to the land through history, legends, and culture.
Hoy honramos a estos pueblos originales que están vinculados en la tierra a través de historias, leyendas y culturas.
We acknowledge the descendants who live in the world today.
Reconocemos a sus descendientes que viven en el mundo de hoy.
We thank the caretakers of this land who have lived here and continue to live here since time immemorial.
Agradezcamos a los guardianes de la tierra, quienes han vivido aquí y continúan viviendo aquí, desde tiempos inmemoriales.
An acknowledgement is a simple, powerful way to show respect.
Un reconocimiento es una manera simple y poderosa de mostrar respeto.
And a step toward correcting the stories and practices that erase Indigenous peoples' history and culture.
Y un paso hacia la corrección de las historias y prácticas que borran la historia y la cultura de los pueblos indígenas.
It also honors the truth.
También honra la verdad.
As a school district, we will continue to build upon our relations with the Yakima Nation.
Como distrito escolar, continuaremos fortaleciendo nuestras relaciones con la nación Yakima.
Thank you, students. Now I'd like to honor the memories of two former Yakima District employees who have recently passed away. First was Sarah Carnahan, who was a paraeducator for a significant amount of time in our district, and Susan Lorraine Reed, who worked in warehouse and operations for us. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. And a more detailed obituary is available for both of those people on our board documents. Next up, we have a presentation from Yakima OnLine with Principal Lois Menard. Would you like to say any words, Dr. Green, before she begins?
Just want to continue to thank our principals for their efforts and providing phenomenal opportunities for our students. And of course, here in Yakima Open Doors and OnLine, it's more of it is a non-traditional opportunity, but it's one that meets the needs of so many of our students. And we're grateful for the work that Lois continues to do, Principal Menard, in paving the way for these students and for their families. So without further ado, Principal Menard.
On it, so I hope my papers don't fly. So thank you again. Thank you, President Walker, for your kind introduction. Thank you, Superintendent Green, for your acknowledgement of the work that we do in the district. Thank you, Yakima School District Board of Directors. Thank you, YSD directors. Thank you, the Yakima School District staff, the Yakima OnLine and Open Doors staff, and to our Yakima Valley community. I'm so excited and honored to be able to share with you about our little gem back here in the back of YV Tech. So we moved here 13 years ago. We used to be at the YVC campus and the old Skills Center. And here we are. We started with two portables, Portable A and C and D. Right here is Yakima OnLine. Portable A is the first one over there, and that is Open Doors. And Portable B is our office setting, and it is the, we have a special education room in there, and we have a GED testing site. So you'll get to see that in a little while. So who are we? Who we are. We've been a school for 17 years. Prior to YVC, I believe we might have been in the Nordstrom building, but I'm not sure about that. Open Doors is in its 11th year. And I am so grateful to the Yakima School District for having the vision that online learning was going to be such an important learning path for our students. All students are welcome to come in person and work remotely. However, most of them do choose to do schoolwork at home. 5 years ago, just 5 years ago, we had a total enrollment of 153 students. Then the pandemic arrived and families experienced at-home learning. They experienced hybrid learning, and they continued to enroll in Yakima OnLine and Open Doors. As of today, we have 687 students in our two programs. Students, parents, and families have found that this option is the best for their situation. As Superintendent Green said, Yakima OnLine and Open Doors are non-traditional settings. Unlike our traditional brick and mortar schools, Davis, Eisenhower, and Stanton Academy. We are also beyond grateful to the district for providing laptops that students can use in their home. Or they can come in again and check in here with their teachers and work here on site. Yakima OnLine is a fully accredited school with the Association of Educational Service Districts. If you come to Yakima OnLine, you will work on your diploma. It's a diploma-only school. If you do Open Doors, you may get a diploma, but most of the students get their GED. The learning platform for Yakima OnLine is Edgenuity, and we'll hear more about that in a little bit. Open Doors uses Edgenuity as well, but they also have access to the credit retrieval program. That is Pearson Connexus. All of our schools use, the high schools use Pearson Connexus for credit retrieval. So here's our mission statement. Yakima OnLine provides a safe, welcoming, non-traditional educational environment that supports students' growth towards graduation and beyond. Open Doors is from House Bill 1418. It's a re-engagement and post-secondary opportunity for students ages 16 to 21. It is an individualized program and links students to needed supports and services, enabling them to realize their full potential and educational success. This slide isn't up there, but I wanted you to know that Yakima OnLine has always had more females than males. Right now, we have 61% are females and 38% are males. And we've checked a few years behind, back, and it's always been that way. Open Doors, on the other hand, it flips. We have more males at 54%, and female is 46%. Now, a couple of years ago, we did have more females than males in Open Doors. At that time, we had 2 female teachers, and right now we have 1 male and 1 female. Here's our enrollment that I talked about a little bit already. OnLine on the left, we started with 70, 99, 165, 291. Now, right there it stops. We've been a 6-12 school until 22-23. The district had the vision and took the 6th to 8th graders off our plate. We had 6 through 12. They are now at the Virtual Learning Center, which is K-8. And you see our numbers still were higher than they were when we had 6th to 8th graders here. And we had a good number of 6th to 8th graders. And then in 23-24, we have a few more than it says up there. We have 366 as of today. Open Doors, you have the same pattern of increased enrollment, 83, 115, 121, 223. We had a little dip last year. We had some staffing changes, some people coming and going, so we didn't have quite as big a handle on that, but we're real secure this year. And we have, it's actually today, it's 321 in Open Doors. And I have some files sitting on my desk for tomorrow. Okay, next one. Attendance, we have phenomenal attendance here. You see the 9th graders, the attendance has gone up. On the left is OnLine. 10th grade, 11th grade, a growth of 12%, and 12th graders, a growth of 9%. So our attendance is taken each week. If the students do what they're supposed to do, their weekly meeting, their monthly meeting, and an intervention plan is needed, that is considered their attendance. Open Doors, we don't have 9th graders here, so that's why it says NA. Their attendance is a little bit different, but they have to be live in person for a certain period of time in order for us to say that they attended. It's very rigorous, and it's a strict calendar to follow for those students. So we're really proud of their attendance. This is one of my favorite slides. We did a survey with our students. We sent it out a couple times to see if the number changed, and it did not. So the question was to Yakima Online and Open Doors, why did you choose our school? Why did you come over here? The number one reason is I can work at my own pace. Now, the pace is quick. We make sure that they keep learning, not too slow of a pace. Students have to do 28 hours of work a week in Yakima Online. They need to pass their classes. So they like that pace because they can pace themselves and do their work in the evening. They can do it in the middle of the night. They can do it in the morning, whatever works for them. It's 24/7 they can do their work. We have flexible hours. This is flexible hours, they say. And some of the students who work like this, it's very flexible. They can work all day and work on their classes at night. I like to tell students when they come in and visit with me, and they're not doing too well, I say, they like to stay up at night, right? Some of them, I say, do your schoolwork, and that'll help you go right back to sleep. So students, the mental health issues is similar to Open Doors, outside responsibilities, behind in credit. Now, Open Doors is a credit retrieval school, so you see 68% is favorable there, and that is how it should be. Safety reasons, health issues, not much on COVID. Bullying is next to nothing. Drama, can't focus, no, that wasn't important to the students. We asked about homeschooling and work employment hours. So I have this was an anonymous survey. I do not know who wrote what, but I want to read you a comment from someone, a student, and this is what they said. Being in Yakima Online has been a lot easier than being in person because I am able to focus on my work in a quiet area. It has also helped with my anxiety because this program allows you to do your schoolwork at home and not have to be so focused on other people instead of your work. So my personal opinion is that it has been a wonderful experience. And I'm going to read you another from another survey. This is a question we asked our seniors that graduated last year. We said, and I don't know which one I'm going to pick, okay? What advice, this is the question, what advice would you have for students who are interested in Yakima Online? Here's what one said. If you want to be able to work full-time job and go to school, this is the perfect way to balance them. Another student said, I would tell them to know when the course is going to end so they can be on track and get it done on time. So that's a pacing question, a pacing answer. The staff here are fabulous. They do their job and they get a lot of work out of these students, which we'll see in another slide. It is very convenient, but don't let it get in the way of social interaction, which I'll talk about soon, even if it means going out to Yakima Online events. So there's more here. If you want to read more, they're in the basket. Students attending Yakima Online and Open Doors both can access Edgenuity. And of course, school prepares students for the next stage of their life. So you might hear Edgenuity, also Imagine Learning. So Edgenuity has added the word Imagine Learning on their title, so that's where it says that there. We offer 60 core courses for our students in both schools, and it's a really neat feature. You can go on the screen to the tab at the top, and it's got languages. You can choose 63 different languages. If you want to do your schoolwork in Japanese today, you can do that with a click. I want to translate to French. There you go. I want to translate to German. I want to do it in English. I want to do it in Spanish. So that's a wonderful feature. We have 25 elective courses, and we have been adding courses every year. Every year we find new courses. Honors courses we have in English and science. This is brand new. We just started advanced placement courses. We have AP English Lit, AP Language and Composition, AP Calculus, AP Statistics, AP Environmental Science, AP French, Spanish, AP US History, World History, US Government and Politics, Human Geography, and Psychology. And we started something new too. These are all of our growth goals. We just started last week CTE courses. This is for Yakima Online and Open Doors students. It's Zoom meetings with Matt Mulvaney as the teacher and Bonnie Smith, director of YV Tech, and Yakima Online. We came up with this and we made it happen in just a few short weeks. We're offering business communications, career choices, and financial fitness. Our students need that graduation pathway. And here is a wonderful answer. Because there is CTE in the other schools, we didn't have that pathway. We do have YV Tech here, but they weren't meeting the pathway, but these are. The students are doing the classes, getting the skills, and the pathway for us, for Zoom meetings CTE. So that's been a real plus. And sometimes we can't get into YV Tech. They don't have enough room. So this opportunity is for those that aren't able to get in as well. But YV Tech is a wonderful, wonderful partner. And we love being able to walk right across the parking lot and the students do the classes there. We also have 6 world language offerings: Spanish, French, American Sign Language, German, Chinese, and Latin. Also, our students get to share, and sometimes they say they want some social things to do. They're allowed to go to the dances. I love signing their forms. They come see me. I'm going to the homecoming, and I sign for them to go. They have to be a student. They have to be invited. And they go to the dances, the homecomings, the proms, and sports. Students can participate in sports. They choose the school that they want to do the sports at, and then they have to stay with that school. They can't do basketball at one school and soccer at another, but the sport of the school they may do. And they have to follow all the WIAA rules. Now, we don't offer everything, and so they can do that at the other schools. So we have dual enrollment in OnLine and Ike or Davis. They can take band, they can do orchestra, they can do choir, they can do drama, because we don't offer that. So we share students. Or it can go the other way, where we had some students that wanted Chinese. We had Chinese, and so we shared the Eisenhower High School students did our Chinese, and they were Eisenhower High School students the rest of the time. We're always working on those little pieces and doing those kinds of things. Open Doors does not have dual enrollment, so they are an individual program that does not share in that pattern, but they do have access to YV Tech. So our course completion rate for all of our 9th through 12th graders is 98%. And our overall average grade for all of our courses is at 84%. So we have mastery learning. If you are a student in Yakima Online and you're in a course, when you do an assignment, you must finish it at 60% or higher, or you have to redo it, study and redo that. And then if you're taking your midterms and finals, they have to be at 70%. Oh, that is someone calling a teacher's jabber. Yeah, so they think their teachers work day and night. I don't know how to stop it. Oh. So, okay, so mastery learning, the 60% on assignments and 70% for midterms and finals. So that's how we get this high percentage. I want to read to you a quote. I was having a meeting with Edgenuity the other day. We meet with them once a month. We learn from them, they learn from us. And Pamela Hayward is the regional administrator and instructional services. And this is what she said about Yakima Online. And I asked her if I could use this quote. She said, sure. Yakima Online, you are the strongest program in all of Washington State. You have the most successful completion rate of courses, and 94.95% of all of your students are actively working on their courses. This is unheard of. We're already to the last slide. We're always looking for opportunities to do things for our students, to provide some more socialization and fun things to do. So one of our goals is to increase monthly opportunities for student and family engagement. We want to increase our enrollment. We're never going to stop. We're just going to keep increasing it. We want to increase our graduation rate by 10%. Yakima Online's graduation rate, 4-year graduation rate, is 61%. And then Open Doors, we'd like to increase their graduation rate as well. So here's some of the evening and fun things we've done. We have an art night coming up in March. We've had grade level meetings with parents and families. We did it in the fall. We'll do it in the spring. Of course, the open house. We have our conferences. And we like to have open Google Meets like all day long. We turn on a Google Meet and the students can join anytime they want and get some help if they can't come in. And that varies by teacher, but it is a really wonderful thing to have. And we offer 10 Google Meets, actually more than that, during the week for the Open Doors students as well. And they come in person. So the first picture is the Knights of Columbus provided coats for teens. And that young lady says, yes, you can use my photo. That is a little tiniest dog I've ever seen, but that's what she's holding, a little tiny dog. And then we gave out Thanksgiving meals. Some of them we delivered to the homes. Some the parents came in person and picked it up. And we have Mrs. Ariza carrying those turkeys. She's the one on the right. And Mrs. Garcia, she is our new high school transition specialist, and she's carrying turkeys on the left. And we had donations from Fiesta Foods, OIC, and there were private donations. It just brings a lot of joy to us and to the families when we can reach out and help them. The last one is, I think I forgot to bring them over. I was going to bring samples of our little hats and toys. But this is Yuvia and her daughter, and the little hats are knitted and crocheted by one of our faith-based partners, and every Wednesday, it's a group of ladies that knit and crochet away 3 hours every week, and I have a pile of them over in Portable B. I'm always giving them away, and they also gave this Squishmallow pillow they bring some of those too, and those go quickly. So those are some of the things that we are doing for our students, and that is what I have to tell you about Yakima Online and Open Doors. And now we can have a little tour when you're ready. If you have any questions.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions or comments from the board?
Lois, thanks for a great presentation. It's always intriguing to me to come to this campus. When I first started coming, I mean, Yakima Online was one portable. And then the next time I came, the B portable had the counselors and the administration in it. And now you're in 3 or 4 portables. So I think it's great that the program is growing. My question is, I don't know what's wrong with this. My question is, actually have 2. Is a Yakima Online student a full-time FTE?
Yes.
Okay, I should know that, but I didn't. And the second question has to do with the on-time graduation rate. And I'm wondering if there is a plan for getting that on-time graduation rate up. And secondly, if someone completes the program in 3 years, does that count against the on-time graduation rate of 4 years?
No, that doesn't count against them. Yeah, yeah.
So is there a plan?
We always are working as hard as we can to get everyone to graduate, and we're trying to, yes, we've added those evening meetings. That has really helped. We're getting those transcripts in front of them. We are talking to our students all the time about, you need to have 3 credits by now. It's second semester. And if they have more than that, we celebrate that. We honor the students that are doing well. We're talking, and that's exactly what we are doing, Ms. Rice. Yeah, thank you for that.
Good for you, thank you.
Mhm.
I have some questions as well. One of the earlier slides, you showed that there are more women than men attending Yakima Online. What are some of the reasons you see for that disparity?
I think that the style of learning for the females can be, a lot of them go into more desk type, more desk type positions in life. It's just kind of, the secretaries in our schools are mostly female. And I think that they just gravitate toward this. They like the space and the quietness, and the young men are more, into the sports and into the activities and things like that. So the women have just gravitated to Yakima Online.
With the attendance rates being so high and the course completion rates being so high, what are some of the main, I guess that seems inconsistent with having a lower overall graduation rate. So can you talk about what is it that keeps the students from graduating?
Yes, so we'll have students that come over here to Yakima Online who have very low credits and low percentages. And there's many reasons why they do come over for that, and that does then take that down.
Okay. And this is always one of my favorite questions to hear responses to. If you had a magic wand and you could do anything for your students to help them graduate on time, what would you do with that magic wand?
The magic wand would get them everything they need, get them the supports to get to school, I have my magic bus and it's online on it, go pick them up, bring them to school, have more people to go out to them and help them, just lots of resources to offer to them. I think, the more important we make people feel, the more they want to work for us. When you care so deeply, and my staff do, and all the people in Yakima do, but there's just this magic about the staff here, and they're working with students who have many, many barriers, as you saw in that slide. And we just want to keep on working as hard as we can for them and supporting them, caring about them, and knowing that they are appreciated and loved, and they'll work hard for you. We just have, I also would, grab a few more people to help us out. That's always nice.
Thank you so much for the presentation. I always appreciate the energy and vibe that you bring and that I know the staff bring to the students here. So thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions from the board?
I have one
Norm.
question. Sorry. You mentioned you have a Yakima online bus. And so that prompted me to wonder if, in fact, you have a Yakima School District bus that services Yakima Online.
So per se, no, but we have lots of opportunities. The city bus comes right out there, like right in front of the school. And also I do have, students can get on the midday bus from Eisenhower and come here and get dropped off. So if they want to do that, they can do that. It's a one-way thing where at least they get here and then the parent has to pick them up. So they do have that opportunity, the students. Whenever Davis and Ike are coming here, they can get here.
But they do have access to city bus as well.
Yes, yes, and it's so nice that now the state, it's free under 18. Yeah, we were used to giving out tickets all the time. And now that's one less thing we have to do.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I'd just like to comment on, and thank you for a very informative and encouraging presentation. I'm really encouraged by what's happening with our students here and the growth of the program. It's nice to have other options for some kids. They really do. I had a couple questions. You mentioned that sometimes it's difficult for kids from these programs to connect or get into YB Tech programs. First of all, how many actually are able to do so? And what seems to be the roadblock?
The roadblock is that the founding schools that started the YB Tech, they get first dibs, yes. And then we came along before that started, and then Open Doors started after that. I don't have the number of students doing YB Tech. I could guess, but I'd rather give you the exact number. I'll be happy to do that.
Thank you. And I know that it's difficult to collect data on what happens with students after they leave. But do you have any kind of formal or informal data on how many students from these programs actually go on to some form of higher education or have kind of success in breaking into a career field that's sustaining and supportive of them?
Yes, I have data for what they're going to do. They tell me they're going to do in June. We keep that every year. I don't have that right here in front of me, but we do that. As far as after they leave, we have not followed up with them. I mean, they come by sometimes, but that's not a good piece of data, but we could do that. We could reach out to them.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any
You're
other
welcome.
comments?
Norm, can you hear me?
Yes.
I do have a quick question if I can ask it at this time. And first off, thank you for letting me tune in remotely here so I'm not coughing on anybody there tonight. And thank you to everybody for using your microphones. It makes it a lot easier to hear when you're out here in the internet. Principal Menard, first off, thank you. This is neat to hear, and it's such a fantastic course completion rate. It's wonderful to see that statistic. I was intrigued by the statistic that shows about half of the students at both programs are picking these programs due to some mental health issues on that list. And I'm just curious to know what sort of counseling and support services the district and the school is able to offer those students while they're students in your programs.
We have a school counselor and we have 2 case managers. I have just gotten a retrieval specialist who is going out to the homes. There's me. I'm always answering calls for students. All the teachers are very aware and help the students. We have a hub on our website, which gives many, many resources for students. The faith community provides us actually with gas cards and diapers, and we have the baby wipes, and I thought I brought some cute clothes over here, but I think they're in my office. And we also have Salvation Army comes twice, usually twice a month, and brings a lot of food for the families. So we have a lot of people that we talk to in the community and have those connections. A lot. We just, every one of them, you know, DSHS and the police department and comprehensive behavioral health, Catholic families. We're always connecting our students to that resource.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Beckett.
Any other questions?
So what we're going to do is we're going to go down the ramp and we're going to go this way. We're going to go to portable A, the furthest one, that's open doors. And then we're going to go into B, and I'll show you what's in B. Then you'll come back here, and then you're going to go to, you'll have your meeting, rest of your meeting, and then I think you have executive session in D. So you'll get to see them all. We have, you know, we have one restroom in each portable, which is kind of nice because I never have any problems in the restroom, right, with kids. They're just one, it's your choice. And the teachers, you can see they're everywhere. They're out here talking to students. Students love to sit right here. This is their favorite place, and you move their table. But there's a teacher in that room. Teacher, I have a Miss Packer is our special education teacher, and so that's how many are in here. So, off to portable A.
Okay, we'll suspend the meeting for a few minutes to tour the building.
It's really crowded. Every computer's taken, and the students are more morning people. They just pack this place, and then they kind of dwindle off later. But we're kind of proud of our wall of fame here. So we start here. It wasn't quite the beginning. We got the idea, but just so long. And all these students have gotten their diploma or their GED from here, and it just keeps going and going.
How many students do you have showing up on a regular day?
Well, I would say, how many computers are in here? I would say in the morning, most of these are full. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, you know, about 10 in here. And this one's really full too. So.
Is there? Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is
Yeah,
there?
about 15 to 20 at a time. And then sometimes every place is taken, and then you come back 2 hours later, and they're gone. But that's nice. That's the beauty of it, is that they can come and go. They're working at home too, and I think that's why I don't have discipline problems. I've written, how many referrals do you think I've written this year? So I've got one.
Is there a minimum number of times they need to check in person in either program with the teacher rather than just always communicating online with
Open doors, they have to be in person once a week.
once a week? Right?
Online, they can do it all through a Google Meet or a phone call. They don't have to be in person.
I just think you miss something there sometimes with kids because when you see them in person, you pick up on things going on with them.
Absolutely.
You won't pick up on online.
Yes, I get concerned when a parent never brings their student in, so I like to say all the time, students are new. Bring your student in.
Welcome back, everybody. Now we're ready for members of the board updates. Are there any updates from our board members?
Yesterday and today, if I were there, is the WASDA, WASA, and WASBO Legislative Conference over in Olympia. They offered a virtual option for yesterday's presentations, which was very nice. And I was able to watch the presentations and glean that information without having to travel over the pass and to stay in Olympia. So one of the presenters was Chris Reichdahl, the state superintendent, and he had a PowerPoint presentation on funding and how funding has adjusted and how enrollment has adjusted and all of that. I went looking for the presentation today and couldn't find it. So I've sent a message to WASA, and because I was told that it would be up on their website today, and I couldn't find it. So I will send that all out. I'll send it out to you all when I get it. It was really kind of eye-opening in looking at how attendance has changed over time, how funding has been changed over time, and the message was that we're doing better than we think we are. So there's that. Yesterday through Tuesday, there are a group of school directors in Washington, D.C. for the equity conference with the NSBA equity conference, which was Saturday. And yesterday, today, and tomorrow is the Advocacy Institute with visitations to the representatives and senators tomorrow. Their day on the Hill for federal things is tomorrow. So I should have something back from the folks who attended, maybe by our next meeting, I hope. You have anything to add about the legislative conference?
Yes, it was good to see that you were there, and I know that Dr. Rodriguez was on as well. In the public content, I have uploaded the legislative hot topics, so that is accessible currently. Also, other items that were shared, there was memorable micros, compact conversations that make an impact as they were training school board members in how to create a concise message for legislators. I did reach out to the individual who was running the online portion, and they did tell me that Superintendent Reichdahl's presentation would be available today, so I had the same issue and wasn't able to locate it. So we will make that available certainly once that comes through, but I wanted you to have everything that was shared during that 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock time period on Sunday at the session, and it was very nice to have it online.
Thank you. Any other updates for members of the board?
I believe you have something in administrative content.
Okay, sorry about that. I'll start again. We have two potential meeting changes that we'd like to propose. One is May 7th, moving that date to May 14th. And the reason is, the May 7th meeting is scheduled for monthly reports, but the reports aren't available till the mid-month. And so it would be better if we heard those, move the meeting to the 14th, and then we can have those reports. And then the second one is moving the June 24th date to June 17th. And the reason is members of the cabinet may be attending the AWSP and WASA conference in Spokane, which is scheduled on that date. So the superintendent and the cabinet are closely analyzing the agenda for relevant updates, and they anticipate that Superintendent Reichdahl and some legislators will also be in attendance, which could inform some potential moves within Yakima School District. So if the board members could check your calendars and see, that works for me. I've already checked. So again, that would be moving the May 7th board meeting to May 14th, moving the June 24th board meeting to June 17th. So it still keeps us within our parameters of 2 meetings a month. Any questions about that?
I show the business meeting for June on the 18th. Is that correct?
No, we could have a typo in here. No, we have it scheduled for 24th. Right.
So there is no meeting on the,
We have one June 4th.
okay.
On Tuesday, June 4th is the business meeting. Yeah.
Well, won't that be too early for the monthly reports? If the 7th is too early in May, won't the 4th be too early in June?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want us to come to you with that now too? We could come back. I think that one was missed, obviously.
Yeah, that wasn't being proposed, but that is the same issue. We could move that report to the 17th. We could do that.
I don't care. You know how I feel about
They're both essentially
moving our meetings around where people don't know when they are, so.
Well, we know that it's far enough ahead of time. I think if we could just move those reports to the 17th meeting. Would that work for the superintendent's office?
Let's do this. We had the 2 dates that we wanted to share. We will go back and double check some of the more early dates, like you've noticed with the 4th. And we'll just come back since there's plenty of time. And we've made you aware of a couple of conflicts. That way we can make sure that we have all of them listed. And we'll bring those back. So consider this a intro to at least 2 meetings that we see conflicts, and we'll find out if we have any others.
Okay. The pre-warning. This is the first reading.
It's the first reading of the 2 dates. And we'll have the 3rd date later on.
Okay. That said, I think now, well, before we move on, are there any other reports from board members of updates? Okay, moving on to Dr. Green's update.
Wonderful. President Walker, member of the board, members of the board, I have several wonderful items to share with you. As Barb will have on the screen, just some photos of things that have happened. I will fill the board in verbally here on some of the items. First and foremost, on Wednesday, January 17th, I was interviewed by Radio KDNA in Spanish to explain levy facts, factual information. I've also explained levy facts to staff at Wilson Middle School. This is all since our last meeting. Wilson Middle School, Robertson Elementary, Stanton Academy, and Hoover Elementary School, as well as the leadership at class at Davis. So students who meet at 7 a.m. in the morning. What a wonderful time for our 0-hour class, and a lot of dedicated students involved there at Davis. And Eisenhower is scheduled for tomorrow morning. So the information sessions continue to roll forward, making sure to share factual information as that is within the parameters of what we can do. Finally, I held a virtual town hall in Spanish to explain levy facts and answer questions from our community members. Was well received, sparsely attended, but phenomenal feedback from the individuals that were there, and they felt like they could really understand and weren't expecting to have such an understanding of the levy. So that was wonderful feedback. We still do have an in-person session scheduled in Spanish and both, and English and Spanish. So 2 more sessions in the evening. Anything else, Kristen? Oh, she will share that in momentarily. She'll give you some more information on that. So that's just the first item. So that's the teaser. You're going to get more information here in just a moment. On Wednesday, January 24th, this last week, on last Wednesday, Assistant Superintendent of Finance, who's excused today, he has some personal items to take care of with his family. So he's not here this evening, but Jake Cooper and I advocated for issues important to the YSD in Olympia. We had personal 2-on-1 meetings with the following legislators: Representative Tomiko Santos, Democrat; Representative Joel McIntyre, Republican; Representative Brian Sandlin, Republican; Senator King, Republican; Representative Rude, Republican; Representative Shavers, Democrat; Representative Ortiz Self, Democrat; and the staff of Senator Nobles, as she was in hearing and was not able to be present, but we did speak with her staff. So all about items relevant to the Yakima School District. I was also able to personally convey Yakima School District perspective directly to Superintendent Reichdahl, as I did run into him in the hallway, and we spoke in a session for a few minutes, and very happy about, well, there's Representative Tomiko Santos. If you can zoom in on that, I don't think you can. The fun thing there is she's the leading representative of the House Education Committee. So having time with her is particularly special. You can't see in the photo there, but if you were able to zoom in, you would see a photo from about 10 years ago where it was a recognition of National Principal of the Year, and also Jeff Charbonneau was present as National Teacher of the Year with Sharon Tomiko Santos. So she has that photo in her office, and we were able to kind of travel back in time together and see our younger selves and enjoy that opportunity. On Thursday, February 25th, the next day, we did have 122 vaccines that were given at the Yakima School District Health and Wellness Education Center. As I can already feel Deputy Superintendent Locke smiling across from me as I say this, 122 vaccines, and they were given by Caravan, Columbia Safety, and Greater Health Now, 3 outside entities. But at our facility and at this event, hygiene packs were handed out to families, and Community Health of Central Washington connected families in need of benefits, which included items like rental assistance, utilities, clothing, transportation, health registration, and of the sort. So anything to add?
Yeah, they started at 4 o'clock and ended about 8, and the place was packed. Oh, wonderful.
Thank you. On the 29th, which is today, and if you were trailing behind coming back, you heard a little bit from Kirsten Fitter. we had the Alexandria Lozano Immigration Law, PLLC, firm donate over 200 coats, gloves, hats, and even these neck warmers that match the hats to our students at Barge Lincoln. So KIMA TV was there today filming, and it was just a wonderful event. We had their head person in charge. They came with a full force of, I believe, there must have been 15 people there present. And the person overseeing all of it was Isaac Castaneda, who's a second-year attorney. He's working over in the Seattle. This is a firm over in Seattle that is looking to expand into our area as well, scheduled for an opening here soon. But Isaac is actually a student. He's a graduate from Eisenhower High School. And several of the people that came over had ties directly to the Yakima School District. So it was very nice to have them connect, not only, the coats and the warmth thereof, but the warming of hearts and the service that it's bringing to the area. So we're very excited about that partnership and what they were able to contribute to our students at Barge Lincoln. Also, just to inform the board, we do have a goal of having, you may have forgotten, but we do a rotation. We've done in the past, this, a rotation with the Yamate Gaukin exchange every 3 years and 2 years. Well, yeah, now it was every 3. We convinced them to do it every 2, and then they had a school in Michigan fall through. So we're actually doing 3 in a row before we get back into that every other year groove. So the students will be coming again this year and next year for a total of 3 consecutive years before going back into that every other session. So we do have a goal of having 40 Yamate Japanese host families confirmed by the 29th of February. So thank goodness it's a leap year. It gives us an extra day. We're excited about continuing that build up, and the momentum that was really lost over the pandemic is starting to, gain traction again and infuse itself into the culture of the schools as they experience this exchange. And then finally, we had some board retreat assignments that the board gave out to us as a staff. And so I think a couple of these are actually drafts accessible in board docs. There was a request. We talked about the proclamation, the different proclamations. So we came up, big thank you to Kirsten. I'm not stealing your thunder now, am I? All right, thank you. So we have some board meeting proclamation guidelines for the board to review. So these are not finalized, but we wanted to come up with some guidance and see if the board, after analysis, could come back and give us some feedback on the board meeting guideline suggestions here that we have. The second document, or one of the other documents, has 3 columns. And this is just to help the board react to some of the proclamations. The first one being the current proclamations as outlined. The second would be an example of staff proclamations only. And the third would be proclamations impacting both students and staff. I will say that these 3 examples have not been run through the guidelines that have been developed because these aren't finalized. So they're just to give you a look at what some of the different options could be. But once we have guidelines sanctioned by you as board members, we would then come back with what the proclamations would look like going into the future based on guidelines affirmed by you as an entity. The other item that was brought or was requested, and I believe it was brought up first by Director Villanueva, was the guiding principles for Yakima School District's sustainable future, or budgetary reduction guidelines. So we have 7 of them outlined, and again, for reaction of the board. We're not asking for anything this evening, but wanted you to see what we were able to come up with based on the request of the board at the retreat. And then finally, there is one last document, which is a hard copy only at this point. Just some talking points for the board based on levy information. So we wanted to make sure that you had some firm points about the levy and were able to address that factual information and not get yourself into trouble with sharing maybe too much or being swayed in one way or the other. These are factual points that could be shared by the board, and we wanted you to have this in hand. Are there any questions on anything that I've shared before I move on and invite Kirsten to share some information?
What's the plan forward for approving or not, or discussion on the commitment to education and equity guiding principles for the district's sustainable future, and for the board meeting proclamation guidelines?
This is the first time that we've even spoken about it. It was uploaded, but I would recommend that you take some time to look at them over the week, and then we can maybe ask that question at our next meeting and see if we would like to have a conversation about that, if there's any feedback that anybody would like to deliver in person.
Okay.
I was thinking, put them on the agenda for the next meeting.
Okay.
That should give everyone enough time to read through them. Okay, any others? Okay, thank you, Dr. Green. And next up, we have calendar updates. And yes, I understand. It's on my agenda here. Kirsten is first up with some things she wants to highlight for us.
Thank you very much for the inaugural board engagement opportunities and district-wide events. There are 3 events that I wanted to bring to your attention that the board could engage with the district or with the community. Nothing this week, but for next week, we have February 8th, which Dr. Green gave a teaser. That is the Levy Informational Town Hall. This is the 4th of 4. It will be in person at Central Services at 6 p.m. It has been lasting about an hour, so plan for that to end at 7. And it is in English interpreted to Spanish. Then we have on February 12, and I believe this was in the superintendent's report last time, the importance, especially from our elementary schools, of the 100th day of school, and that lands on February 12 this year. So kind of a fun celebration to especially go through some of our elementary schools and see how they are celebrating that. And then we will all be together on election night, as it is a school board meeting, Tuesday, February 13. And as you know, we have a levy on the ballot at this time, and that will be the final opportunity for folks to turn in their ballots. And then we will share in the results together that evening. And that is the conclusion of my inaugural report to the board for board engagement opportunities. Any questions?
Any questions?
Should we let Barb know which ones we want to attend? What time does the informational meeting on the 8th begin?
It begins at 6 p.m.
And I would like to attend that one as well. So if you wanted to, that would be.
I'm not going to be able to attend because I have a Zoom at that time, but I just thought it should be out there.
So, yeah, any other board member can let Barb know, and then we'll make sure we're not violating quorum. Any other things, any other questions for Kirsten? Thank you so much.
I just wanted to share that the board is invited to attend any of the events that are listed. Our purpose was to, again, at the board retreat, it was asked if we could highlight, out of all of the things that we have planned, are there things that kind of surface or rise to the top? And that's why Kirsten, every week, on top of what is listed in public content of things that you could attend, the Wax Museum at Nob Hill, where the kids present on a famous individual, STEAM Night at Gilbert, we have basketball games, boys and girls, all other types of events. You're welcome to go. Simply let us know, but we are trying to keep kind of those premier items flagged for you. I will simply also add that we did have 2 days where school was canceled because of weather. So that 100th day has actually shifted. So we are in contact with our elementary principals to find out if they are going to be traditionalists and stick to the moving the date too, or they're going to just say it is what it is, and now the 98th is the 100th day. So once that information comes forward, we'll keep you posted. And if you want to attend, we'd love to have you at any of those events and just see the joy that's happening around our elementary schools.
Have decisions been made about makeup days for those 2 days?
The makeup days have been embedded already in the calendar, so they're already have been approved and simply need to be communicated. But is there anything that I'm missing in this? Yes. Oh, please. Kirsten Fitter is doing a fast walk to the front to get to the mic. So yes.
I want Director Beckett to be able to hear this clearly. The school days, as Dr. Green said, are embedded into the calendar. So the first one will be February 20, that it will now be a school day. And the next is May 23rd, that will now be a school day. The information is going out on that to full district tomorrow. So we had to update all of the different calendars first, so we didn't confuse our community. But as you know, last year's calendar was voted on by the board and accepted in February of 2023, and then, has been in front of our community for quite some time with those 2 dates embedded. And then just to speak of the future, although it's 45 degrees out right now, we do have 2 additional snow days that are built into the calendar on June 20 and June 21, just in case.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't think I need to highlight anything else in the calendars, anything that anyone else wants to point out or comment on in the calendar. Okay. Just that I won't play favorites, but just that one of our high school basketball teams is currently ranked number 1 in the state. And one of the women's teams is ranked, I believe 4th in the state. So you'll have to check that out and see which one it is. Okay, now we've arrived at comments from the public on agenda items. And I see on our paper, we have a comment from Bunker Frank, but I do not see Bunker.
She wasn't able to attend tonight.
Not seeing any other comments?
Nope.
Move on. Well, I thought it's possible online. We don't offer that, okay. Okay, next up. We have approval of the 2024-25 instructional calendar. So you have a copy of that in front of you. Looks pretty similar to this year's calendar. Dr. Green, did you want to comment some on the calendar?
Absolutely. I would love to take us through the calendar. You should have a copy of the calendar, and totally understandable if the board would like to consider and take some more time, but I would walk you through here and let you know starting dates and ending dates and everything in between. Keep in mind, I am challenged with some of the colors on here, but I think I have a handle on enough to share this with you. We would start school with training for our teachers, the staff-funded professional development days in August, which occurred at the same date as last year on the 15th. School would start on the 22nd of August. We have kept the professional development days for the Wednesdays once a month. We did assess the validity of those dates, and I know that we had a couple of board members participate in the training given recently on our PLCs and the efficacy thereof, and heard how powerful that is. The feedback that we did get from our principals was all positive, around overwhelmingly positive. I can't say all, but overwhelmingly for the days and the development of those PLCs to be more effective in instruction and the analysis of data and adjusting and all that comes with being a PLC. The other item that we heard last year was around November, having so many days off, and it seemed like there were very few days. And I heard some of those comments actually from our board members as well. So I wanted to call out in November, you will see that there are 17 school days in November. The big change in November is we did look at the 1 full week off for Thanksgiving, which was this year. So it would go back to the traditional 3 days and have Monday and Tuesday would be attending school. And that has greatly reduced, along with some of the shifts in October to the fall conferences. We move those out of November into the end of October to create some more space there and consistency across the calendar and attending during November. There are still 2 full weeks off in December going into January through the 3rd, so that gives the weekend, and then come back on the 6th. You will see also then, again, another professional development days in each of those months. February, as February rolls around, we have Snow Makeup Day on the 14th of February, if we have something happen similar to this year, along with intercession, no school day on the 17th, early release on the 26th. March is a pretty full month as far as attending, which is nice as well. We do have spring conferences on the 24th, 25th, 27th, and 28th. And I believe the 26th in between there would be a professional development day at the end of that month also. April is the spring break and also Q3 break. We do have an early release at the end of that month also. May does have a snow makeup day as well. 14th is an early release date. We moved that from the end of the month to a little bit earlier, I believe, or is that incorrect? Let me make sure I'm looking at this right. May. It's like we still have to shift that, right? We did move it back, but it looks like the words on the, if you look at the date, it says 14th. Yeah, so that 14th will be shift. In May, the words in the middle there, it says early release staff professional development on the 14th. That actually should be the 28th as indicated on the calendar. So that is correct on the calendar, incorrect in the description in the middle column. Early release professional development, then that date will be the, okay, where am I at now? Okay, spring break, May. June, Treaty Day is the 6th of June. Last day of regular classes would be the 11th. There would be Snow Makeup Day, number 3 would be the 12th after school. You know, it would extend the year if we needed that 3rd day. Juneteenth is on the 19th, and summer school does begin after a week break or week and a half break. We are starting summer school earlier, which would be the last full week of June. So that would only give about a week and a half for students before they jump right back in, which is actually a bonus, going right away and providing for those who have food insecurity, but also can recover some of the learning if necessary, or expand opportunities during that summer session. But that then would mean that in July, we would conclude summer school on the 18th, which is a Friday. So I'm open to any questions. I did find that one date change in the middle, but it was correct on the calendar. We do have all 4 quarters of the year are consistent at 45 days. So that's consistent across the board.
Thing is that they have to be in person. That we don't accept call-ins for public comment. We stopped taking call-ins.
Yeah.
So, absolutely.
All right.
Okay, are there any other questions or comments regarding the calendar, the board?
I have kind of a ancillary question.
Okay.
I do have one more addition that maybe I'll answer your question. We did run this by our students also. So we did have student feedback on this. They scoured it as well. And I did mention that we had principal input also then on some of the dates, but I neglected to talk about that student component. And it passed the muster with the students. They had some questions and some suggestions, but in their own words, it was not enough to really change the calendar or to take a firm stance on anything that was contained therein.
I'm glad to hear that the students weighed in on that. That wasn't my question. My question has to do with the feeding program during next summer. Do you anticipate being able to run the school, well, the feeding program next summer like we have in the past? The summer before this school year? No, the summer after. Or is that on a year-by-year decision?
I think what we would like to do is maybe hold that question, and when Jake is back, who oversees our food services,
Okay,
we could perhaps resurface that when he's here and have him respond.
sure.
Thank you, and I would ask Barb if you could make a note of that, so we give him a heads up. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments on calendar? I'd just like to throw in my annual comment, which I know will not go very far, considering the attitudes in our legislature and current prevailing attitudes in the community and our students, but I will go on record every year as saying I believe in a 200-year school day. I think it best serves the needs of our students and will help us to get them farther in advancement of their academic skills, and that we lose too much over the summer and we're not catching up fast enough and we're not recovering fast enough from COVID. So I firmly believe in a 200-day school year for Yakima and for the state of Washington. But I know that that's not popular, but I have to say it.
And I will go on record with still wanting a more balanced calendar. I was disappointed that we didn't make much movement toward that this year.
That said, do I hear a motion to approve the calendar? Oh, is this first reading on the calendar as well? Okay, I thought we had our committee that, okay, this is first reading then on the calendar, so it will come up next meeting. Is the next meeting we vote on it or the next business meeting?
At your leisure.
Oh, it's already, okay,
I
well,
mean, if you,
I'm assuming there's not a lot to digest here, so it's pretty predictable, so we can probably have a motion next meeting then, one way or the other.
Yeah, I just had a comment. You know, when I look at this calendar, last year's calendar also, I remember that the reasons why we're making the changes, right? And we know that attendance or the school days, the shorter summer period all correlates to increased or improved or increased academic achievement. So I'm just kind of wondering when, in my own mind, we don't have to answer it here, but when will we start to perhaps see the fruit of the changes, right? When, and you know, I'm always asking, you know, for research behind this and seeing results. So I like to see results after this year, right? But I don't know if we'll see that. So it just, in my mind, just thinking, when do we expect to see the effects of these changes of the calendar that we spent a lot of time figuring out and correlating with student success. So I like to see and expect results in that. And, you know, even with some of the public coming in and providing evidence and research behind such changes. And so I just wonder about that, when we're going to see those changes, improvements in academic achievement, and then, you know, what percentage or how much of a factor is the actual calendar, the changes we made. So those are all research questions that I think about, and I don't know if we even want to or can or even think about answering some of those questions. So that's just my comments.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions from the board? Okay, we have arrived at our second opportunity for public comment, and I don't believe anyone has signed in. So I believe we can move on to approval of policies 1003.4, 3.5, 3.6, 3.7, 3.8, and 3.9. And all of those comments came in on those policies. There was 100% agreement from the board that all the elements of each policy was in compliance. So they were fully in compliance. Were there any other comments that someone would like to add that they included or didn't include in the survey? Okay, hearing none, I would entertain a motion, and I believe we could probably improve all of those in one motion.
I move approval of the monitoring reports for policies 1000.3.4, 1000.3.5, 1000.3.6, 1000.3.7, 1000.3.8, and 1000.3.9.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the previously enumerated policies. Any other questions or discussion? Hey, Barb, would you call the roll, please?
Director Beckett,
Aye.
Director Navarro Jr., Director Rice,
Aye.
Vice President Villanueva, President Walker. Motion passes 5-0.
Next, I do understand there is a need for executive session this evening, and the last I knew was for about 20 minutes set aside. So we will temporarily adjourn to discuss some legal updates. We need a motion to move to executive session.
I move that we adjourn to executive session for the purpose of
Current or potential litigation with legal counsel.
for 20 minutes over store.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Is there anything else for the good of the order from board members? Okay. It's on.
Yeah, no,
Anything else for the good of the order? Okay, meeting adjourned.